Hey, video blog. Hey, YouTubers. So I kind of was organizing my YouTube thing, and I'm really glad that YouTube has the control panel where you can say that this is for adults and this is for kids, because I only want to market for kids when I know that there's no curse words or profanity or because I have a dirty mouth, and I don't I'm not trying to promote that, but I mean kids are going to hear it sometimes anyway. They're going to hear it sometimes in school. They're going to hear it sometimes at the grocery store. It happens, but I'm not trying to promote that as a channel. I know that there have been a lot of curse words used on public television, um, like in the 40s when Rhett Butler said, "I don't give a damn." That was a big deal in the 40s, but by the turn of the century, we were hearing all kinds of curse words on public television, and some people thought that was shocking. I didn't think it was shocking, even though I didn't think it should be considered public television. That stuff used to be saved for um, private channels. Anyway, so I do mark it appropriately, and I mark this one adult because, yeah, I got a Southern accent. Did I tell you about that? Like sometimes I get a Jersey accent, and sometimes I get a Southern accent. I'm bipolar, and I don't know if that has something to do with it, or if it just has something to do with half my life was a Jersey and half my life was here in Florida. So I don't really know, but today it's a Southern accent. So sorry if that's kind of weird to you. Anyways, I just watched this one video, and this video was talking about riots, lawlessness, different states having different laws about that kind of stuff. And I'm not really, like I said, I don't really like to get into too many political discussions because I did not major in political science, so I really don't know. Somebody told me once that I'd be a good lawyer, and I always thought I would be too because I like to do research and I like to compare notes and stuff like that. So I think I would have been a good lawyer. But anyways, this I just had some opinion. I did have some opinions. And when I have an opinion, it might be right or wrong, but when I have one, I do like to share it. So I was thinking about the riots and the lawlessness and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of stuff in 52 years. I mean, I remember the first riots I ever saw with my own eyes. That was in the early 90s. I was in Tampa, actually. It was a riot in Tampa. Um, it scared me. It scared the shit out of me. I mean, it was like, I don't even know what the riot was about. Me and my friend, we were in a car just going to a dance club, and we were driving through downtown Tampa. This was in the early 90s. I was still young and wild, and I just want to go party and dance. Well, all of a sudden, like me and my friend Charlie, we just found ourselves in the middle of a riot. It was like it just came out of nowhere. I mean, there must have been 50 to 100 people, and it wasn't a riot like they weren't robbing a store or rebelling against the government, or it was this was like a major street fight, like what you see in like West Side Story or something like that. It was like one of them kind of riots. Like some gangs just decided to go at it, and it was like 50 to 100 people just going crazy. And we were like so scared. We were like, how the heck did we get it here? Like, where the heck are we? It was scary. That happened in the early 90s, and then I started seeing a whole bunch of stuff going on in the early 90s. um I mean, riots about like Rodney King. That during that time there were a bunch of riots in California, and then for a while, like I guess it was like in the late 90s, it started simmering down. You didn't really hear about it too much. Everybody was sort of chilling and relaxing. It was like okay. And then 2001 happened, and then people were all like, "Whoa!" Like they didn't know what hit. We didn't know what hit us, right? We were all like, "What?" Well, it seems like all of a sudden, the past 6 years, riots and stuff. I mean, it's been a thing like for the past 5 6 years. I mean, the news, even apps that show different people reporting stuff, all kinds of stuff. It's like you keep hearing about riots, and I seen a lot of footage. Now, thank God, I haven't been in the middle of one since the early '90s, and that was an accidental fluke that scared the heck out of me. But the things I've seen, the footage, the camera shots, and all this stuff, all these people. I mean, there were some crazy riots the past 5, 6 years, and I just seen another video showing some other stuff, and I mean, it's scary. I wouldn't want to be in the middle of that. That's really scary, and I worry and I think about that stuff every time I go out there. It's like that could happen. Like that's scary. But I mean, it's not new to civilization. I mean, rebellions have been going on since. I mean, you could read about that in the history books. I remember reading about it in the history books. They talked about the French Revolution. They talked about things that happened in Italy. They talked about things that happened in Spain. All kinds of places. Europe knows all about it, and maybe probably even England. England had some stuff like that too. There were always rebellions, and I guess America's going through it more. I noticed the more of it now in the past 5 and 6 years than even in the early '90s, and I don't know. I mean, I guess everyone's just stressed out to so bad to the point where they're just like having such a severe case of the effets. I mean, that's my little phrase, like a case of the fuckets. They don't care about their life. They don't care about law. They don't care about anything anymore. It's like they're just so over everything. I guess that's why it's happening. Um, but I mean, I do traveling when I get a chance. I've traveled by bus, I've traveled by car, I've traveled by plane. I have traveled by boat. I would still like to travel by train. I haven't done that one yet. That would be cool. But whenever I go traveling, I look around and try to sort of feel not just the temperature of the air, but sort of, you know, the temperature of the culture wherever I go. And I mean, it varies from state to state, just like it varies from country to country. Um, and sometimes you get that feeling like, ooh, this is a real tense state. Like people are on the edge here, or sometimes you're just like, whew, okay, I can relax here because people are, they're all right. But all I'm trying to say is like I talked to a trucker and he had some interesting opinions about the riot type of people because he was like, I mean, truckers, I seen them when I'm riding on the highway. They're the ones bringing all that stuff. There's not that much stuff that goes by train anymore. They still use the trains for stuff, but most of the products that are in the stores and most of the things, the goods that we need, they get trucked. And so the truckers pretty much, you gonna say that, the pharaohs are your dictators, or you're gonna say the president's your dictator, or you're gonna say all this shit, excuse my language, but you're gonna say all this, whoever you think is ruling the world, the rich people or some, secret cult. I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is. I think the truckers rule this world. I mean, I've done enough traveling on the highway to see how many trucks are on that highway bringing things from state to state. And if you don't know, or if you don't pay respect to those truckers, I think you're going to be in for a surprise, a bad surprise, because they're the ones bringing all the stuff everywhere. Yeah, some people get real cocky. They get a job at Target or Walmart. And they think they got the inside shit, like, ooh, I can get this, I can get that, I can make some deals because, I tell you what, like, my friend worked at McDonald's. I tell you what, I get you some shit from Walmart if you give me some shit from McDonald's. They start trying to act all play it like that. They're gonna be in for a big surprise when the truckers put their foot up their ass, because the truckers don't play like that. I mean, they don't play like that. And I tell you, a trucker told me about these riots. A trucker said uh, that if it just keeps going down and going down to where the stores keep shit on the shelves and do things right, they ain't gonna be able to afford paying the truckers. You think the trucker wants to be on the road for 20 hours with no pay? He ain't gonna do that for free. And what? Then what? You know what you're gonna have? Nothing. You ain't gonna have no can of tuna on the shelf. Then what you gonna do? What you gonna rob then? What you gonna rob then? Eventually supplies is gonna run out. So y'all might want to think about that when you're thinking about rebelling and rioting and getting all pissed off because you ain't got $5 in your pocket. It might be better for you to consider just begging or asking for that can of tuna than for robbing it, because if them truckers get pissed off, we're all fucked. So y'all might want to think about that.